Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas McGee, and in this video we're going to talk about landing pages, how to get them set up, the fundamental elements of an effective landing page, and why you should use them for your platform. Okay, so the first thing we should start with in terms of a landing page is what is it and why would you want to create one? So in essence, a landing page, or a squeeze page as they're also called, is just a very simple page. Some can be more complex than others. But the whole idea behind a landing page is that there are two options, right? If somebody hits a landing page or a squeeze page, the person can either take the action that you want them to take, so to sign up for a webinar, to sign up for your free resource, to join your email newsletter, to buy a product, to watch a video, to take whatever one action you want them to take, or leave. This means that there's not going to be any navigation on this page. There's not going to be the home, the about, this, all these other pages that we typically have on our website. And the reason for this is because we want this page to drive, like I said, a specific action and to be as effective as possible at getting that particular person to do that action. So a lot of times what people will do is they will create a landing page that is not only specific to the action they want to take, but specific to the traffic that they know they're going to be getting to that particular page. So for example, let's say that you have a specific type of opt-in. You've got an ebook or a video course or something that you want to drive traffic to from Facebook. So you're going to go and run maybe some Facebook ads that drive traffic to a webinar, or these 5 simple steps to eating more healthy, or these 5 simple steps to losing weight or gaining more clients, or whatever problem you are solving in order to grow your email list and your prospect list, right? So the nice thing about a landing page is that we're going to be able to get very specific. And as you start becoming more advanced with your use of these landing pages and growing your email list or selling more products, you can create more and more and more of them. Here's another quick example that I've seen pretty recently and can be really effective as well. If, say, you're going to be a guest on a podcast, or maybe you're going to be on a radio program or something like that, and you're going to have the opportunity to plug your website. 9 times out of 10, what people are going to do is they're going to say, go to my website at mywebsite.com, right? And so maybe you'll get an influx of people, but the problem with that is that probably about 90% of the people who are hitting your website are going to bounce, meaning they're going to hit that website, they'll maybe click around a little bit, and they'll leave. On the other hand, if you did something like, say, go to mywebsite.com/free gift, and then at that URL have a squeeze page that requires that person to enter in their email address to get that free gift, the amount that you're going to be able to grow your email list as a result of that strategy is going to be significantly higher. So that's just a little quick insight into why squeeze pages are so effective, or landing pages. I'll kind of use those, I'll kind of go back and forth between those two terms, but that gives you a little bit of insight into why they are so effective. So now in this video, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually show you a framework I've built, a plugin, or I should say a theme that I've built that I use to build out my landing pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a sample landing page that I'm going to build out, and I'm going to give you some of the key factors of what is going to make a landing page effective. So whether or not you use our landing theme, or if you use a completely different third-party service, I just want to give you some quick tips and takeaways as to what is going to make that landing page effective. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so we're logged in here to a blank install of WordPress, and we're going to be using a WordPress theme by the name of Landing that I've created over at Notable Themes. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is just popping on over here to the Notable Themes plugin. So if you don't have this already, just head on over to notablethemes.com and just click this start button. You're actually going to be able to get this plugin absolutely free if you'd like to. There's a cost associated with the landing theme, but we do have a number of other free plugins and themes in here that you can get if you would like to try them out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate the landing theme, and I'm going to go ahead and click install. So we'll give that here just a quick moment while it downloads and installs on our WordPress website. Looks like that has completed. Once it's complete, it'll turn this nice light gray color. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is pop on over to appearance. We'll see that we have the landing theme right here, and I'm gonna click activate. Once it has been activated, I just need to pop in a nice license key here, click save changes, and we're good to go. Okay, so now all we have to do to get started with our first landing page is head on over to pages. Got a number of pages here already, but all we got to do is click add new. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a nice simple name, migrate landing page. There we go. And let's go ahead and let's see here. That works. Okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and publish that. There we go. That works. Excellent. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and view the page. And we'll see here that there's not much to look at. We do need to actually change one setting, I believe. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. So what we do want to do first is pop this over to a widgetized page. So this is a theme that we're looking at right now that's going to enable us to create any number of what's called widgetized pages. And then those pages are going to be our individual squeeze pages. Okay, so as you can see, very much a blank slate that we're starting out here with here, and we're going to just go ahead and click customize, go into widgets, and we'll see that we have migrate landing page. Okay, so now we're gonna break down, I'm gonna be kind of using this as an example, but now we're gonna break down some of the fundamental elements of a good squeeze page. Now, you don't have to use all of these, and sometimes you can use more than these. It just depends on what you're trying to get people to do, what you're trying to get them to accomplish, and what your goal is at the end. Is your goal to build your email list? Is your goal to sell a course or get people to sign up for a webinar or an event? So those are all questions that you have to ask, and they're going to change for each squeeze page. So I'm just going to pick a generic sample concept here, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so for the first thing that we're going to want is a nice little, what's going to be called a hero headline, right? What's going to be the kind of thing that catches people and draws them in. So let's say we're going to create a free guide that teaches people how to get more Instagram followers or something like that. So let's go ahead and say, learn how the pros gain hundreds of Instagram followers a day. Something like that, right? So we just need some sort of nice catchy headline, and then we'll kind of go from there. So get the free guide that shows you the tips from the greatest in the industry. Okay, so we've got a heading and we've got a subheading, right? So we just want to keep this really simple. And you kind of think through, here's a big lesson to learn when it comes to writing your headlines. And headlines are really important when it comes to a squeeze page. Don't tell people what they're going to get, right? Don't say, get my free ebook. You can put that here. That's a good thing for a subheading, but not in the main heading. People like just saying, get my free ebook or get my free guide, 9 times out of 10 is just going to get passed over. So tell people what is the secrets that you're going to unveil to them. What's the strategy? What's the tactic? What's the transformation that people are going to get as a result of, in this case, giving their email address. In other cases, like I said, it could be signing up for a webinar. It could be signing up for an event, or even purchasing a course or something like that, or signing up to be your client. So just make sure that whatever you are promoting as your main headline is going to be a benefit, something that they can walk away with. Okay, so we've done that. And now we want a nice call to action, which would be download the guide for free. And let's learn how to type. There we go. So download the guide for free. And I usually put like some nice little arrow there, which sometimes that kind of helps to drive clicks and that sort of thing. Okay, so we've got kind of the basics down, but let's make this a little bit nicer. Let's go ahead and pop in here just a nice background image. So I'm going to go to Pexels, which by the way is just a totally free open source place where you can source tons of images. So we'll just go ahead and type in Instagram, since that is our sample topic. Let's see if we can find a nice image that will work for this. Let's try that one. Free download. Okay. And let's go ahead and pop this in. There we go, insert into post, and that works. Okay, now what we want to do is decide what type of color scheme we want to pick. Within this theme, it makes it really easy to just select kind of the style you want to use. There's a light tint, there's a dark tint, that sort of thing. So for this one, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the dark tint, but then rather than a centered look, I'm going to have this off to the right. And I'm going to check this box down here to do boxed content. Perfect. There we go. So that's a little bit cleaner. I think that works pretty well. Okay, so we got that up and running. So that's good. Now what I'm going to recommend, and again, these are not things that you have to do, but let's go ahead and specify some benefits. Like, why is it that somebody should actually download this? Why not, why not just go and, find some other tool or resource, out there and that sort of thing. So what you'll learn. Say, specific strategies from the pros. And I'm going to go ahead and pop in some placeholder text here too. Sample posts that went viral. Hashtags to test with your campaigns. There we go, and I don't think that's spelled right. Campaigns, there we go. There we go. So now what we're doing here is we're building out some of the benefits, some of the other things that people should keep in mind as they are, wanting to download this. Again, this works great for a free guide. Also works great for a webinar, right? So you want to tell people the specific things that they're going to learn and that they're going to be able to take away. And it's also good to incorporate some sort of visual element to these 3 benefits, right? And so you might be wondering, why 3? Why not 5? Why not 10? Why not 50? Things typically work well in 3s, and plus if you overwhelm people with too much information up front, a lot of times they may just gloss over or skip over what it is that you're trying to get them to do. So 3 kind of seems to be like the sweet spot. Okay, so now that we've got that down, let's go ahead and let's pop in here some icons for each of these. So this particular theme utilizes the Font Awesome icon set, so we can actually just pop in here and search. So we could try strategies. Actually, let's do a chart, so that'll work. Let's do a chart line. And the nice thing about this is I can literally just click to copy, paste it in there, and this particular theme is going to take care of the rest. Okay, so the next one, let's go ahead and say that we wanted to, so something that went viral, so maybe we'll go ahead and use there we go, grab Twitter. Actually, it wouldn't make sense. This is Instagram, so let's use Instagram. All right, there we go. We got Instagram. There we go. Go ahead and copy that, and we will paste it in there. All right, so let's click publish, jump back over to the front end and see what we got going here. Okay, so we got a nice squeeze page or landing page going pretty well for us. So that works. So that's a nice, a nice great start. One of the things that I like to recommend that people do when they can is to incorporate some sort of scarcity into this. Make it time sensitive, especially if you're going to have a webinar registration or something that kind of has the scarcity built in, right? Because it's going to take place at a specific time. But even if it's not a webinar, even if it's just a free guide, or if you're selling a course, give people a deadline to take the action that you want them to, and they'll be a lot more likely to take that action. So let's see how we can do that. Let's see, we go ahead and pop in here, and let's add a countdown timer. And let's say, get this free resource while it's here. And let's say that this is going to disappear on Friday at 11 p.m. There we go. Let's go ahead and change the color scheme for this to be a primary color scheme. There we go. And that should work just fine. All right, so and what we can also do if we want to, if this was going to be a webinar, we've got a nice little checkbox right here so that we can kind of add this in there. So it adds in the date and time. I don't think we need that for this one. We'll just go ahead and check that box and then we'll make that set. Okay, now what I typically recommend, there's a lot of other things that we could add in here. If you're going to be selling a course, like if this is going to be a sales page or a webinar sign up or something that's a little bit more, requires more than just a simple email address, what I would typically recommend is that you actually pop in here some sort of video, right? So where people can actually see you and talk to you. So if we just go to rightly.tv and just kind of grab one of the other videos just for the sake of this example. But yeah, you're going to want some sort of video that kind of helps promote or kind of does the selling of the particular item that people are going to be accessing as a result of that page, right? So video can be very powerful for that. So let's go ahead and pop one in here just for the sake of this example. In this context, I probably would stick it about right there. And let's kind of see how that looks in context. Go ahead and close this. There we go, as we got that video in there along with everything else. So again, you can kind of pick and choose. I'm not going to go through all the different options that this particular theme has built into it, but these are things to keep in mind as you're building your squeeze pages. Whether you're using this or you're using another service to build out your squeeze pages, these are good things to keep in mind. Okay, so one last thing that I like to do with a number of the squeeze pages I'm creating is just add a giant button at the end that just kind of repeats that main call to action. And you can do this more than once. But it's just good to have that particular call to action repeated. Just because one of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes people just like to scroll. And when people are scrolling, a lot of times they just kind of like to skim and scroll to the end, and they don't actually take action until the end or sometimes midway through. So if you got a really long squeeze page, I would do the beginning, the middle, and the end. If it's shorter, like this one is a fairly short squeeze page, then you can just do it at the beginning and the end. So what I've got is I just pop in a giant button that is the call to action, and then everything works just fine there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how this is looking. Everything is great. We've got one last step here, and that we need that actual box to open up and have a call to action in here, right? So let's go ahead and let's add in a modal window. That's going to be a window that activates when somebody clicks that download our free guide. So let's go ahead and add that in. Modal window, I'm just going to drag it up to the top. In this particular case, this can be anywhere because it's going to be hidden until someone clicks. Okay. All right, now what I like to do for my modal windows is I like to make it kind of look like it's a process. So just one more step, and then I add this progress bar in the top as well. Say, looking to get the free guide, simply enter your email address below and we'll send it your way. Then what you would do is if you're using something like ConvertKit, you would just pop over your particular form. So let me go ahead and grab that real quick. Okay, so I've got that form, so all I gotta do is just paste it in here, and I apologize that my camera is blocking this at the moment, but let me scroll up. There we go, so you can see it. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and pasted that in there, and then there we go. So the form itself looks like it needs to be tweaked. I'm actually using ConvertKit. The form style can be changed in ConvertKit, so let me just go ahead and change that really quick. Just make sure that there's an actual border on it. Sorry for the delay, just kind of clicking that in ConvertKit. There we go. So now we're just going to go ahead and click publish and take a look at how this looks on the front end. Okay, quick refresh. There we go. So you can see that every single time I want to click on this particular button, it's going to activate that modal window in order to get people to take action. So all they have to do is fill out their email address here, and then there you go. You're off and running, and that person will then have access to your guide. You would then set it up in your email marketing software to give people access. But one last thing I wanted to show you about this particular plugin that or theme that we've created is making it yours, right? Because right now it's by default, it's going to be that blue and kind of goldish color, but we want it to kind of match the Instagram colors, or maybe you would want it to match your brand or website or something like that. So let's go ahead and change this. Let's say for that kind of primary color, we wanted something that was kind of purple. And then maybe for a secondary color, rather than this color, maybe we wanted maybe like a lighter blue. Or even a teal, that probably works a little bit better. So the gray, we can even make that a little bit lighter, that sort of thing. So you kind of get the idea. And then let's say instead of all of the this particular typography, let's make a few changes to that. A nice thing about this is that it actually utilizes the Google font library, so you can literally choose any Google font in existence. So just to kind of make this quick, I'm just gonna literally just grab the first one that kind of comes up or kind of seems to work. So just scrolling through. So maybe we want to use this one. So all we would do is just copy that title, paste it in, and then we'll just go ahead and keep Railway as our secondary font. But you can see everything else changes to kind of match that style. That one's kind of weird. I'm a designer, so I could literally sit here all day and mess with typefaces. I won't do that to you. But what I will do, let's just go ahead and do a nice script. This is for the headlines, by the way. Publish, and there we go. We've got our own nice, beautiful squeeze page that we're able to create really quickly. But what I wanted to do, the main goal here, was just to kind of give you some ideas into some of the fundamentals of what makes an effective squeeze page. That headline, a very clear call to action that's repeated throughout the squeeze page, a video if necessary, and clarity. Clarity is always what's going to make an effective squeeze page, and that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind regardless of the platform that you're working on. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful. Again, I just kind of wanted to walk you through some of the fundamentals of what can make a really good landing page. Hopefully, if nothing else, this can help you start to build your landing pages in a manner that's going to get you higher conversions. As always, always recommend that you do any A/B testing as well. If you don't currently have a landing page builder or something that you use to host and to manage your landing and squeeze pages, below this video, I placed a link to the landing theme if you'd like to check that out. As always, hit the like button if you found this useful, subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.